We're here today, Phil and I are here today with Shawn Terrell. He's the president of Auction Services with United Country Real Estate. And Shawn, you joined United Country in 2007.
Yes, sir.
You have over 20 years of auction experience.
Yeah, about 30 now.
About 30
Yeah, it's adding up. It's adding up.
So we just wanted to talk today a little bit about some of the myths that you hear about auctions. And Shawn, one of the ones that what we hear quite frequently, that an auction is a fire sale.
That's a common one that it gets stigmatized, especially during downturns in the market where there's a lot of foreclosed inventory that hits the market. Those tend to get a lot of television recognition and they're high volume sales, and that's, unfortunately, that's something that we combat in the auction industry. But in my career, that probably makes up about 15 to 20% of our total sales every year.
No, that's a good point, Shawn. And I think with the market that we've been in for a number of years now, that it's so hard to accurately pinpoint a value of a property. And the auction kind of resolves that issue. Absolutely.
When the markets are trending up or trending down and the valuation's more difficult, fair market value, there's no better appraisal on the planet than a well-publicized, well-attended auction. What is property worth? It's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it.
Willing to pay for the property.
Yes, sir.
By definition, yeah.
Exactly.
Shawn, one of the things that I hear from buyers lately is that they're afraid they don't know what the price is, and they're scared of the auction because they don't know where the price is. How would you respond to that?
For buyers?
Yeah.
So we're very transparent. A lot of times, if it's an online auction, it's about transparency and complete visibility. So the current bid price a lot of times is supported by the amount of bids, whatever the starting price was, but you'll start at a number, and the more bids you receive, obviously the higher the price gets. But that's the great thing about the technology behind online or internet auctions. It's right there in front of them, so they can see exactly what's going on and build that comfort level.
So I think one of the frustrations that we've seen in this particular type of market is by the time a property that hits our YouTube channel or it hits our website, it's already under contract. So
Yes,
the auction for us, the way we see it, is it certainly can resolve that. Everybody gets a chance to, there's usually 30 to 45 days in an auction period.
Yeah, 30 days would be a nice, well-rounded number to expose it to the market, to conduct the auction, allow people to become informed, to inspect the property, and then finish that auction out at the end of the 30-day period.
Yeah, so if you're afraid what I've seen a lot of is multiple offers on a conventional listing. Of course, the agent can't tell the buyers where the bids are at. It's not allowed. It's against Maine law to do that. So this lets every buyer have a pretty fair shake at it, right?
Yes, sir.
They know what the bid is. They know what the terms are. To me, it's probably more fair in this market than a conventional listing from a buyer's point of view.
I think we go back to that word transparency again.
Right.
It's creating a very transparent and a very fair and impartial marketplace for property. So the great thing about the auction method of marketing is it's good for the sellers to receive a good, strong, fair market value. It's good for the buyers. Property doesn't always bring 110 or 20, 30% of value. There are once in a while that the market is a little more sluggish, and there's a buying opportunity in that. So it's a very healthy environment for both the buyer and the seller.
That makes a lot.
Yeah, Shawn, we just completed an auction here that ran from January 1st to February 1st. Very successful auction. We had over 30 bidders in that auction. The seller was happy. The buyers were ecstatic. They've been trying to buy a property for 2 years and hadn't been able to get a bid in on anything that they'd looked at, so they were extremely happy. So both parties seemed to win in that particular auction.
That's a great scenario. And when's the last time you listed property traditionally that you knew you had 30 people submitting offers on it? So you have a lot of traffic drive. It's a very successful event. And what we talked about earlier, extremely transparent, very fair, very impartial to everybody. It's a level playing field. Get in there and compete for the property you want, and that exercise netted positive results for you and most of all for the seller.
Absolutely. Right. And you're right, transparency and all the terms of that sale are in that bidder package ahead of time. So nobody's guessing on, when does the seller want to close, or what other contingencies are in this offer. So.
And that's a great point. Auctions, a lot of times, people are fearful of them because they don't get to inspect a property or know about them. And that's a misconception in the auction business. We want you to perform all of your due diligence and be very comfortable with that transaction, the purchase, before you start bidding and engage in a transaction. So it's all about transparency.
Absolutely. Shawn, I can't thank enough for taking time out of your busy schedule with this conference here. I know how busy you are, so really, really appreciate your help.
Oh, it's been a blessing, Pete. Thank you very much. And
Thank
Phil,
you, Shawn.
listen, guys, this is a huge part of the value of being with United Country, largest organization of real estate brokers and auctioneers in the United States, and you guys are a big, big part of that.
Thanks again, Shawn.
You bet.
Thank you, Shawn.
$50 here, down 50, 55 here. When I get 55, down 50, now I'm at 55 here, $55, $55, now $60.